Let's get a market view with Peter Maguire. He is the CEO in Australia of Trading.com. Peter, I began my week with you, and it looks as if we're going to potentially end it as well. What do you make of the week's performance on markets?
Well, it depends on which one, and good morning, Nadine. I tell you what, the markets, they've been certainly volatile. I took on board the Nvidia's numbers and also precious metals, and they've been on fire since Monday morning. They've given up a little bit of that hot steam in the last 24 hours, but it certainly was a nice thing with oil. Still seems to be very much range bound until we get some decisive action. It's running at 70, 77 or 70, 75 for Brent and just over 65 for WTI. Silver touched 91, so yeah, it's been a good week.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, so Nvidia is looking really strong, but we still have big questions over AI. We saw it expressed in some of the results. I mentioned Block restructuring, sure. WiseTech cutting a bunch of jobs as well.
Sure.
Is this a crack starting to appear in the whole AI narrative?
Well, it's a tension point, and there's no doubting that, shareholders are relentless. They want a continuation as far as earnings, and if they see any issues, they'll hold the board and naturally the executive team to ransom. And the pressure's fairly immense. I mean, you've only got to go to business school and appreciate you're looking at a 90-day window, and that's forward-looking, and you're at the beck and call of analysts. You've really got to hit the ball out of the park. If you're not, then it's headcount that goes first. You've got to revise the strategy and look for opportunity. And if you can't revise the strategy with numbers, as in the sense of sales and revenue, you just got to take the old angle grinder to it, and headcount gets really decapitated.
Yeah, all right. Talk to us about what's happening in terms of precious metals. Today, the strongest sector so far is gold, but silver rates a mention too, doesn't it?
You betcha. Was up the best part of over $10 from early in the week. You had the US 10-year at 4%, and you've had a 2-year at 3.43. So there's pressure to the downside as far as US bonds, and that's also assisting the lift up as far as gold. US dollar index running at 97.70, and I think that where the action has been as far as the gold market, it's probably inhaling. There's opportunity to the upside as far as a continuation over this rest of the quarter. And I think March is going to be fairly dynamic for precious metals. I wouldn't be surprised to take an all-time high out for gold. And as far as silver, I want to see conviction and momentum. It's still 34, 35% from its all-time high. Nadine, it's running at 88, and you were looking at a high of 121. So it's taken a big hit down, and it's got to get above, I think, from a momentum standpoint, above $93, $94. And then maybe it's off to the races.
All right. Peter, when I think about markets, I have to think about digital assets as well.
Sure.
How did the week go for Bitcoin? And because it's just been so volatile, really reflecting the risk out there in market.
Yeah, you betcha. 67,600 for in US dollars. It's been lackluster. It's choppy at best. There's still, if you're trading short term, there's no shortage as far as movement, Nadine, because it has big swings in a 24-hour window. Let's just again see if it can break that 73, 74,000 to the upside. I think 61, 62,000 you'll find support, and it's volatile until we get a decisive move forward. You've got a lot of global themes being played out, and naturally margin calls across different asset classes. And the Bitcoin market has taken a little bit of a hit, but I still believe its best days are ahead of it, and 2026 should be a very dynamic year for it.
Oh boy, well, we will see. We hear a lot about that 4-year cycle, of course. When we think about currency moves this week, we've got to mention the yen. What's happened and where does it go, Pete?
155.92, US dollar index at just under 98. Look, there's talk, Nadine, that from an inflation front, it's actually moving in the right direction, because if that was moving in the other direction as far as very sticky, that would cause more concern for Bank of Japan. So let's just see if we see any intervention at that 160 handle. It's oscillating or trading between that 153 to 157 sort of number. And until, again, we see a breakout on either side, that'll give us a clear indication of what's in store. I'm not expecting a Bank of Japan rate rise in the next quarter, but we'll just have to wait and see.
We will. Okay, so Peter, today we are looking at a pretty flat market thus far. Of course, Asia yet to come to life in any real earnestness. So what can we expect? I mean, what would be the end performance that would allow us to sort of move forward next week after hitting, record highs this week? I think we forget.
Absolutely. I want to see how South Korea goes, inhaling those numbers, and Japan today. Let's again see how Europe trades this evening, keeping a close eye on it. And of course, when American markets open up this evening, Russell 2000 was relatively okay. Still, the Dow was only down 3/100ths, so I didn't really worry too much about it. I think you'll get more pressure to the downside as far as the US bond market, and that may give a little bit further upside as far as US equity. So again, we'll know the results in around about, 20 hours time, but I'm expecting good opportunities to trade over that window.